He wasn't young. He wasn't dashing. He didn't sweep her stage-grand scenes of romance under stormy skies. Colonel Brandon stood in the background, silent, serious, and watching. He was the kind of man girls like Marianne Dashwood weren't supposed to fall in love with. But by the end of Jane Austen's Sense and Sensibility, they marry. Not just marry. She loves him. Deeply. And it changes everything. Because this is not just a love story. It's a quiet revolution against what we're told love is supposed to look like. In a world where passion burns bright and burns out, Colonel Brandon shows us a different kind of flame, the kind that stays lit, even when no one's watching. When we first meet Marianne Dashwood, she lives entirely in the world of feeling. She believes love must be immediate, intense, and poetic, that it should leave you breathless. Anything less is dull, reasonable, lifeless. To her, Colonel Brandon represents exactly that, lifeless. At 35, he's too old to be romantic, too quiet to be exciting. She even mocks him for wearing a flannel waistcoat. Marianne wants fire. She wants Willoughby. And Willoughby gives her everything she dreams of, music, charm, flattery. He quotes poetry. He catches her when she falls. And for a time, it feels like a perfect love story. But Austen knows better. And soon, so will Marianne. While Willoughby dazzles, Colonel Brandon waits. He doesn't interrupt, doesn't compete, doesn't try to win Marianne with grand gestures. But everything about him speaks. His loyalty, his gentleness, his sorrow. Brandon is not untouched by feeling. He's loved and lost before. He carries grief, but also patience. Where Willoughby is full of charm and secrets, Brandon is full of silence and truth. He listens. He watches. And when Marianne is devastated, when her world collapses, he's the one who remains. He doesn't need to say, "I told you so." He simply helps. Quietly. Steadily. Faithfully. Willoughby's betrayal isn't just a broken heart. It's the destruction of everything Marianne thought love was supposed to be. She nearly dies from the emotional wreckage. But out of that illness comes something more than recovery. It's transformation. For the first time, she starts to see the difference between appearances and substance. She sees that passion without integrity is dangerous, that love is not just about poetry, it's about constancy, care, truth. And right there in her darkest moment is Colonel Brandon, offering help, not for love, but because it's the right thing to do. Here lies the turning point. Marianne begins to see Brandon, not just as a figure of duty or honour, but as a man of deep feeling and strength. His love for her has never been loud, but it has always been real. In Austen's world, true attraction isn't always a lightning strike. Sometimes it's a slow, steady unfolding. Brandon's love is a refuge from storm, not the storm itself. And for a woman who has been through both emotional fire and physical illness, this kind of love is no longer dull. It's life-giving. When Austen writes that Marianne came to love Colonel Brandon, she adds something extraordinary. He became everything her fancy had ever drawn in the hero of a favourite story. That line is the key. Brandon doesn't replace her romantic ideals. He fulfills them in a deeper, more grounded way. It's not that Marianne stops being romantic. It's that her definition of romance evolves. A man who listens, who stays, who protects, who gives without taking. That becomes the new standard of attraction. Brandon's age, his past, his quietness, these no longer disqualify him. They make him more desirable, more real. Austen gives us more than a happy ending. She gives us a heroine who grows. Marianne's love for Brandon is not a compromise. It is a triumph of maturity over fantasy, of wisdom over naivety. This is not about settling. It's about rising. She doesn't love him because he waited. She loves him because he deserved to be loved. And in turn, Colonel Brandon doesn't win her through charm, but through the quiet force of character. That is Austen's ultimate message. Real love may start in silence, but it echoes forever. In a world obsessed with passion and spectacle, Jane Austen wrote a love story that whispers, and still resounds more than 200 years later. Colonel Brandon wins Marianne's heart not by storming it, but by being worthy of it. His is the kind of love that waits, not out of weakness but out of strength. And Marianne learns that the most beautiful kind of attraction is not found in drama, but in devotion. This, in the end, is Austen's quiet revolution. The love that stays, the love that grows, the love that lasts. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Sense and Sensibility, don't forget to subscribe and follow the channel for more thoughtful explorations of classic literature and timeless love stories. I'd love to hear from you. What Jane Austen topic or classic character would you like me to explore next? Drop your suggestions in the comments. Your ideas truly shape the next chapters of this channel. Until next time, thank you for watching.